The black cat. If you see a black cat staring at you from across the street, you'd better hope it's not the one these 6 people killed 15 years ago, because this cat came back, and it wanted revenge. This story starts in a small town in Oregon called Millbrook. The population of about 3,000 people. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and nothing exciting ever happens. But back in 2009, something did happen. Something that 6 teenagers thought they'd buried forever. Literally. Their names were Marcus, Jenna, Tyler, Sarah, Devon, and Rebecca. They were all juniors in high school. Best friends since middle school. The kind of group that did everything together. Friday night football games, weekend parties, summer road trips. You know the type. One night in October, they were all hanging out at Marcus's house. His parents were out of town for the weekend, so naturally, they decided to throw a small party. Just the 6 of them. Some drinks, some music, nothing too crazy. Around midnight, they were all pretty drunk, laughing, telling stories, being stupid the way teenagers are when there are no adults around. That's when they heard it. A cat meowing outside the back door. Tyler got up and opened the door. Standing there in the porch light was this black cat, completely black, not a single white hair on its body. Its eyes with this bright yellow color that almost seemed to glow in the dark. The cat walked right into the house like it owned the place. Rebecca thought it was cute. She tried to pet it, but the cat hissed at her and scratched her hand. Drew blood. That's when things took a turn. Devon, who was the drunkest one there, got angry. He said the cat was aggressive and dangerous. Said they should teach it a lesson. The others laughed. They thought he was joking. He wasn't. Devon grabbed the cat by the scruff of its neck. The cat screamed and clawed at him, but Devon held tight. He looked at the others with this wild expression on his face and said, "Let's kill it." At first, everyone went quiet. Jenna said no. Sarah said that was messed up, but Devon kept pushing. He said the cat was feral, said it probably had diseases, said they'd be doing the neighborhood a favor. Marcus, being drunk and stupid, agreed. Then Tyler joined in. Then Rebecca, not wanting to be left out, said okay. That left Jenna and Sarah. They didn't want to do it, but they also didn't want to be the ones to ruin the night. So they just stood there and watched. Devon took the cat down to the basement. The others followed. What happened next is something none of them ever talked about again. Not in detail, anyway. They tortured that cat for almost an hour. I won't go into specifics because it's too horrible, but by the end of it, the cat was barely alive. Devon finished it off. Then they put the body in a trash bag, drove out to the woods behind the old lumber mill, and buried it in a shallow grave. On the drive back, nobody said a word. The reality of what they'd done was starting to sink in. They made a pact that night. Never speak of it again. Never tell anyone. Take it to their graves. And for 15 years, they kept that promise. Fast forward to 2024. All 6 of them are now in their early 30s. They've gone their separate ways, but most of them still live in or around Millbrook. Marcus became a dentist. married with 2 kids, lives in a nice house on Maple Street. Jenna works as a nurse at the local hospital, single, lives alone in an apartment downtown. Tyler manages his dad's hardware store. Engaged to a woman named Kelly. Sarah is a teacher at the elementary school. Married, no kids yet. Devon works in construction. Still single. Lives in a trailer park on the edge of town. Rebecca moved away for college, but came back 5 years ago. She's a real estate agent now. Divorced. Lives with her sister. They don't really hang out anymore. Maybe they see each other around town occasionally. Maybe they exchange awkward small talk at the grocery store. But they're not friends. Not really. Because you can't stay friends with people who share a secret that dark. It started happening in late September. Marcus was the first one to notice it. He was taking out the trash one night after dinner. It was around 9 o'clock, dark outside. He walked down his driveway to the curb where the trash cans were. That's when he saw it. A black cat sitting on the hood of his car, staring directly at him. His blood went cold. The cat didn't move, didn't blink, just stared with these bright yellow eyes that seemed to cut right through him. Marcus told himself it wasn't the same cat. Couldn't be. That cat died 15 years ago. This was just a coincidence. Black cats aren't that uncommon. He clapped his hands and shouted to scare it away. The cat didn't move. Marcus picked up a small rock from the driveway and tossed it near the cat. Not at it, just near it. The cat slowly turned its head, looked at the rock, then looked back at Marcus. Then it opened its mouth, and Marcus swears to this day that the cat smiled at him. Not like a regular cat expression, but an actual human smile. Lips pulled back, teeth showing. Marcus dropped the trash bag and ran back inside. He locked the door behind him. His wife asked him what was wrong. He said nothing, just a stray cat that startled him. But he couldn't stop shaking. 2 days later, Jenna saw the cat. She was leaving the hospital after a late shift, around 11 at night. The parking lot was mostly empty. Just a few cars were scattered around under the fluorescent lights. She was walking to her car when she heard a sound behind her, a low growl. She turned around. There was a black cat sitting on top of a car about 20 feet away, staring at her. Jenna's heart started racing. She knew it was stupid, but her mind immediately went to that night 15 years ago. She tried to tell herself it was just a cat, a random stray, nothing to worry about. But then the cat jumped down and started walking toward her, slowly, deliberately. There was a black cat sitting on top of a car about 20 feet away, staring at her. Jenna's heart started racing. She knew it was stupid, but her mind immediately went to that night 15 years ago. She tried to tell herself it was just a cat, a random stray, nothing to worry about. But then the cat jumped down and started walking toward her, slowly, deliberately. Jenna backed up until she hit her car. She fumbled for her keys, dropped them, picked them up, got the door open. The cat stopped about 10 feet away, still staring. Jenna got in her car and slammed the door. She locked it immediately. The cat sat down on the pavement, didn't take its eyes off her. Jenna started the engine and backed out quickly. As she drove past the cat, she looked in her rearview mirror. The cat was still sitting there, still watching. Tyler saw the cat 3 days after that. He was closing up the hardware store. It was around 8 in the evening. Everyone else had gone home. He was locking the front door when he saw movement in the window reflection. He turned around. A black cat was sitting on the bench across the street, watching him. Tyler felt a chill run down his spine. He stood there for a moment, just staring back at the cat. Then he shook his head and walked to his truck. When he got in and looked back, the cat was gone. But when he got home that night and pulled into his driveway, the cat was there, sitting on his porch. Tyler sat in his truck for 5 minutes, just watching the cat through his windshield. Finally, he got out. He walked up to the porch slowly. The cat didn't move. Tyler reached for his keys. That's when the cat stood up, arched its back, and hissed at him. Then it turned and ran off into the darkness. Tyler went inside and immediately texted the old group chat, the one they hadn't used in years. Anyone else seeing a black cat? Within 10 minutes, all 6 of them had responded. Yes, they decided to meet up. First time in years, they'd all be in the same room together. They met at Marcus's house. His wife took the kids to her mother's place for the night. When everyone arrived, the tension was thick. Nobody really knew what to say. Finally, Devon broke the silence. It's the same cat. Nobody argued with him. Sarah said there had to be a logical explanation. Maybe there was a family of black cats in town. Maybe they all just happened to notice them because of the shared memory. But Marcus cut her off. He told them about the smile, about how the cat looked at him with recognition. Jenna told them about the hospital parking lot, how the cat followed her. Tyler told them about his porch. Rebecca said she'd seen the cat sitting outside her bedroom window on the 2nd floor, just sitting on the roof, staring in at her. Devon said the cat had been showing up at his trailer every night for the past week, always around midnight, always in the same spot, just sitting there under the streetlight, watching his door. Sarah was the only one who hadn't had a direct encounter yet, but she admitted she'd been having nightmares, dreams about that night, about the basement, about the cat. They argued for hours. Some thought they were all being paranoid. Others thought something supernatural was happening. Finally, Marcus suggested they go back to where they buried it. If the body was still there, they'd know it was just paranoia, just guilt manifesting as shared delusion. If the body wasn't there, nobody wanted to finish that thought. They drove out to the woods behind the old lumber mill around 2 in the morning. The mill had been abandoned for years. The building was falling apart, windows broken, covered in graffiti. They parked and got out with flashlights. The woods were dark and quiet, just the sound of wind through the trees and their footsteps on dead leaves. Devon led the way. He remembered exactly where they'd buried it. About a 1/4 mile into the woods, he stopped. Here, they all gathered around. Marcus had brought a shovel from his garage. He started digging. It didn't take long. The grave had been shallow, maybe 2 feet deep. After about 10 minutes, the shovel hit something. Marcus stopped. Nobody said anything. He got down on his knees and used his hands to brush away the dirt. The trash bag was still there, torn and deteriorated, but there, Marcus pulled it out. It was much lighter than it should have been. He opened it with shaking hands. Inside was nothing but bones. A small skeleton, cat-sized relief washed over all of them. The body was still here. They'd been paranoid, just guilt and coincidence. But then Sarah pointed her flashlight at the skull. The jaw was open, wide open, like the cat had died screaming, and carved into the inside of the skull. Somehow, impossibly, were 6 marks, like scratches, 6 lines, one for each of them. They reburied the bones and left. Nobody spoke on the drive back, but as they got back into town, they all saw it at the same time. A black cat, sitting in the middle of the road. Marcus slammed on the brakes. The car skidded to a stop about 10 feet from the cat. The cat didn't move, just sat there in the headlights, staring at them. Then, slowly, the cat stood up and walked toward the car. Everyone in the vehicle started yelling at Marcus to reverse, to get out of there. But Marcus was frozen. He couldn't take his eyes off the cat. The cat walked up to the front of the car, placed its front paws on the bumper, and looked directly at Devon through the windshield. Devon started screaming. The cat opened its mouth, and even though they shouldn't have been able to hear it through the car, they all heard it clearly. A human voice, deep, angry. "You took 9 lives from me. Now I take 6 from you." Then the cat vanished, just disappeared into thin air. Marcus finally hit the gas and sped away. They decided to split up, go home, lock their doors, pretend nothing happened. But deep down, they all knew this wasn't over. Devon was the first to die. 2 days later, his body was found in his trailer. The police said it was an animal attack, but the wounds didn't match any known animal in Oregon. His throat was torn out, his chest was ripped open, and his eyes were missing. Rebecca was next. She was found in her bathroom 3 days after Devon's death, drowned in the bathtub. But here's the thing. The bathroom door was locked from the inside. The window was closed and locked. There was no way anyone could have gotten in or out. And on the bathroom mirror, written in condensation, were the words, "5 more. Tyler died in his sleep." At least, that's what they thought at first. When his fiancée found him in the morning, he looked peaceful, like he'd just fallen asleep and never woke up. But the autopsy revealed the truth. He'd suffocated. Something had blocked his airway completely. When they looked closer, they found black fur in his throat. Cat fur. Enough to fill his entire windpipe. Sarah tried to run. She packed a bag and drove 3 states away to stay with family in California. She thought distance would save her. It didn't. She was found dead in her hotel room a week later. The door was still locked and chained from the inside. She'd been clawed to death. Hundreds of scratches covered her entire body. She'd bled out on the hotel room floor. The police found cat prints in the blood, small, delicate prints leading to the window. which was on the 9th floor. Marcus tried to protect himself. He boarded up his windows, changed the locks, installed security cameras, bought a gun. None of it mattered. He was found in his basement, the same basement where they'd killed the cat. His body was positioned exactly where the cat had died. Same spot, same position. And covering his body were claw marks, hundreds of them, like he'd been scratched by the same cat over and over for hours. The security cameras didn't show anything, just static. Jenna was the last one alive. She knew it was coming for her. She could feel it. She saw the cat everywhere. Outside her work, outside her apartment, in reflections, in shadows. She tried to apologize. She went back to the woods. She dug up the grave. She begged the cat for forgiveness. But when she opened her mouth to say she was sorry, no sound came out. The cat was sitting on a branch above her, watching. Jenna tried to run, but her legs wouldn't move. She was found 3 days later in those same woods, sitting cross-legged on the ground, eyes open, staring at nothing. No marks on her body, no signs of struggle. The coroner said she'd died of fright. Her heart just stopped, and lying across her lap was a single black cat hair. The police closed all 6 cases as unsolved. The official report said it was likely a serial killer with an obsession with cats. But the people of Millbrook know better. They know about the 6 teenagers who killed a black cat 15 years ago. And they know that if you see a black cat with bright yellow eyes staring at you from across the street, you'd better hope you've never wronged it, because cats have 9 lives, and they never forget. Subscribe if you want more true horror stories.